Hello, everybody, and welcome to a very special edition of the Wrestling Forum. This is the recap of the Survivor Series. I'm Michael Fletcher alongside Anthony Floyo and Michael Bullock. Dee Dee Woodson will not be with us tonight due to commitments beyond her control. And guys, tonight it was about survival. It was the war, Raw versus Smackdown. But unfortunately, at the end of the night, well, not unfortunately, but very fortunately, the entire night was overshadowed by the 30th anniversary of The Undertaker, and we will go in full depth on The Undertaker, on the tribute to him at the end of the event, because that was definitely not just newsworthy, but it was definitely a moment that all of us will never forget. This was, if there was any way to put an exclamation point on his legendary career, tonight WWE literally sent the Undertaker off with the hero's goodbye. I think we've never seen anything like this, and probably will never see anything like that ever again. That was absolutely incredible. But before we get to that, we got to start off with the war between Raw versus SmackDown. Here we go. Now, this is a debate if you want to make it. Normally, we do pre-show fights, but this is a major event, so we got to cover it. Now, there was some people that claimed that this should not be counted in the tally. Others did count it. According to Florian and myself, we did count this. Therefore, this was definitely a crucial moment. It was the 18-man, dual-branded Battle Royale, 9 and 9. 9 from Raw, 9 from SmackDown. When it was all said and done, The Miz wins the point for Monday Night Raw. He was the last man standing, knocking out Dominic Mysterio as the last man. Look, standard traditional battle royale. It was good for the most part. For The Miz to win it, I think is no big surprise. He is Mr. Money in the Bank, so you want to make him look strong. At least make him a viable contender. But give it up for Dominic Mysterio for making it all the way to the final two. Once again, I guess you could say, the Rookie of the Year run that he's getting right now was really well done. So I'm not going to say anything bad about this. This was about a 2.5 to 3 star match. Really nothing more to say. Anthony Floyo, it's yours.
Yeah. Good start. Good start for the Red Brand, no doubt about it. I was very pleased with this outcome. But I'm going to be honest with you. I think they should have just let Dom win it. Dominic Mysterio deserved to win this Battle Royal. He should have. Because, I mean, I'm telling you, that kid's going to be something special. You know, as soon as he gets the proper seasoning, he's going to be just as good as his father. There's no question about that. But as happy as I am with this win, I honest to goodness feel that this is the one SmackDown should have won, if I'm going to be honest with you. And they should have just let Dominic win it. They really should have. But all that aside, I'll go with MF's rating about 2.5 to 3. Battle Royals are at their worst when guys are wandering aimlessly around the ring, punching and kicking, then occasionally pairing off with another superstar en route to their inevitable elimination. There was a lot of that going on here, as there was no story to speak of. Sure, Miz staved off elimination in sneaky fashion to win, but beyond that, this was just a bunch of bodies doing things with no rhyme or reason. And worst of all, no one is really better off for having competed here. Their stars not enhanced or strengthened in any measurable way. But it was a fine battle royal, though. So 2.5 to 3. But Michael Bullock, as I give it to you, if I'm going to be 100% honest here, and be the man who tells it like it is, Dominic Mysterio should have really won this battle royal. Just saying.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one, Florio. I mean, I think to me Dominic Mysterio should have won this battle royal. I mean he's I mean, he's been getting really good since making his debut at SummerSlam, and I think he's only going to get better as time goes on. So, I mean, yeah, I think this battle royal to me, SmackDown should have won. I mean, that's just how I feel. So, but it was a fine battle royal. I mean, it was nothing special, but it was fine for what it was. So 2.5 to 3 stars for me as well. So Fletch, let's get to the main card.
All right, we started off with the men's traditional Survivor Series match. Team Raw, AJ Styles, Keith Lee, Sheamus, Braun Strowman, and Riddle takes on Team SmackDown of Kevin Owens, Jey Uso, King Corbin, Seth Rollins, and Otis. Raw wins the match by a clean sweep. 5-0. I think this is the first time, and somebody actually has to clarify me on this, but the first time since I believe 2005 is what I heard.
Actually, Fletch, it was 2006 when it was
Yes,
Team DX
Team
that
DX.
swept Team Rated RKO.
Yep.
Our all time favorite team, MF. You know how much fun we used to have with that back in that time.
Oh yeah. I mean, holy cow. Anthony Florio, we knew Raw was going to win it. Did you have any idea it was going to be a 5-0 sweep?
No, but I do want to ask. I just want to ask one quick thing, MF. I know I promised you I wasn't going to go over the top crazy, but can I at least have this one? Just this one.
Oh yeah. Go right ahead. You deserve that one. This one was a massacre. I couldn't believe this.
Oh yeah. So let me do the honors. Bada boom. Right there. Clean sweep, friends. Wow. With everything that happened with these guys, I mean, with the massive egos and everything else, with AJ saying, "Oh, I'm the captain," and all this good stuff, and everybody saying, "Oh, you're not the captain," and then all this blah 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 blah. They came together for the greater good, no pun intended, and they got it done. And wow, I had a good feeling we were going to win this match, but I did not think they were going to do this. Wow. I'm still stunned. I mean, it's never happened in the Battle of Brand Supremacy. That's never happened before. Amazing. But nonetheless, the story of Uso nearly pulling things out and finding renewed strength within himself was a nice story late, but for the most part, this one was all about Raw, proving it could stay united long enough to win the bout. While that played out effectively enough, it was the least interesting story it could have told, and led to the equivalent of a 35-0 Chiefs shutout of the Jets. It was one-dimensional, and while it was a fine enough opener, it may very well go down in Survivor Series as the least compelling of these Raw versus SmackDown matches. 19 minutes, 25 seconds. I'll give it about 3 to 3.25 stars for the effort, but it was a 5-star performance by Team Raw, and I am very pleased with this outcome. So that's the only real gloating I'll do this evening. Spoiler alert. So nothing more to say. Michael Bullock, clean sweep for the Raw men's team. Who saw that coming? I certainly didn't. Wow.
I didn't either. I thought maybe one, maybe two Raw superstars would get eliminated, but no, it didn't happen. They all stayed intact. But what about the other thing that we saw with one of SmackDown's eliminations? Seth Rollins, he didn't do much. He just basically sacrificed himself and basically got eliminated thanks to a bro kick by Sheamus. So yeah, you have to think that this was their way of writing off Seth Rollins after because obviously he wants to be with his girl for the birth of their soon to be baby. So yeah, this was another way of writing him off. So, but yeah, complete another domination when it comes to Monday Night Raw. So 3 to 3.25 stars. I agree with the rating. So Fletch, it is yours.
Yeah, no, this was I couldn't believe it. I mean, I knew it was gonna be close. I knew it was gonna be tough. I knew it was gonna come out one way or another. But nothing ever would have told me that Monday Night Raw was gonna do that to SmackDown Live. And a lot of people jumped on WWE immediately for that burial of SmackDown. They jumped on them and they were calling them out for that. And a lot of people weren't happy with them. At the end of the day, it is what it is. It was close. It was very interesting, but at the forefront, it was definitely domination by Raw, and on the scoreboard, it was 2-0 for Raw. So you're thinking, oh man, they're like, all right, so SmackDown must win. The next match is a must win. If they lose this, it could turn into another massacre. So here we go, as it was the battle of the tag team champions, as it was the Street Profits versus the New Day, and the winners of the bout in 13 minutes and 40 seconds, the SmackDown Tag Team Champions, the Street Profits, Montez Ford, Angelo Dawkins, they knock off Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods. SmackDown wins, makes it 2-1, but Michael Bullock, more importantly, the torch has been passed. The New Day has passed the torch to the new best tag team in WWE today. The Street Profits, throw your cups up on this one, because they brought the smoke.
And another sign of that, Fletch, with the way the torch was passed. I mean, after the match, I mean, there was a lot of respect between the two, especially after the way they performed in this match here. But this was definitely a good match here. I certainly enjoyed it. But then again, any match involving the New Day certainly makes it very good. So I'll give this about maybe 3.5 stars for the match here. I mean, great ring work by both men, but yeah, SmackDown definitely won, but both sides definitely earned the respect for each other after this match. After they embraced each other, so there's really nothing more for me to say. Fletch, SmackDown may have won, but as far as I'm concerned, they're both winners after the moment they had.
Hell of a fight. Hell of a match. This was amazing. 3.5 to 3 3/4 for me. This was one of the best fights of the evening, no doubt about it. Look, we knew this was going to be great. We knew this was going to be a battle. We knew this was going to be a war. For the Street Profits to win this is bigger in so many ways. Because for a number of years, we talked about great tag teams in WWE. The Profits were up and coming. The New Day and the Usos are the creme a la creme right now in WWE. Well, after what we saw tonight, you can now say the Street Profits is in the same breath as the New Day and the Usos. They have solidified themselves as the top tag team in WWE today, and by winning this match and winning it the way that they did, I think it's the bigger factor is that the way they won this, because of what they had to go through, what they went up against, and credit to the New Day, credit to Xavier and Kofi for one hell of a performance. And you got nothing to be ashamed of, guys. You left it in the ring. You left it for chance. It's great that SmackDown won it because they needed that win. This was a must win. If they lost this, I think the series is over. Big, big, big win for SmackDown Live. And now SmackDown can harp to say that they have the best tag team in WWE today with that victory. Anthony Florio, this was a back and forth match. This could have gone either way, but at the end of the day, the young lions of the Street Profits brought the smoke, and it was a little too much for the New Day to overcome.
I told you, didn't we tell you this is going to be a show stealer? Didn't
Yep.
we tell you? And guess what? It did. At this point in the show, this was the best match of the show, the best fight, easily. Excuse me 1 second. Okay. High energy, strong in-ring content, and a story revolving around Montez Ford's injured midsection that nearly cost his team the win led to a captivating bout. The match had the unenviable task of being a babyface versus babyface match, telling a story and living up to rather lofty expectations. Not only did the performers find a way to tell that story, it did so in a way that never forced either of the teams to play the de facto heel. That is a testament to those involved in the match itself and in laying it out. Fight of the night at this moment, 3.5 to 3 3/4 of a star, and a hell of a way for SmackDown to get on the board. So, great win. All 4 of you guys, round of applause. That was a hell of an effort from all of you guys. I would love to see it again, but we'll see. 3.5, 3 3/4 fight of the night up to this moment. So, MF, let's move on.
All right, the next match that we did have on the fight card was the United States champion Bobby Lashley going up against Intercontinental champion Sami Zayn. Bobby Lashley wins the match in 7 minutes and 50 seconds via submission. All right, this was, out of all of the title fights, this was the worst of them all. Lashley dominated. We kind of felt like maybe Sammy could steal it by, maybe by various means or by cheating. Well, that got taken out of the way with the Hurt Business being at ringside, so it kind of neutralized Sammy to fight the match. And when he did, we saw what happened. A massacre. So, this was Monday Night Raw reestablishing the dominance, going back up by 2, and at the point, this was a 3-1 situation for Raw, and thus they were 1 win away from winning Survivor Series again. This was maybe a 2-star fight. I really don't think there was anything more to write home about on this one. So, Anthony Florio, it's yours. Bobby Lashley, the Destroyer, acted like a destroyer and absolutely dominated in this one.
Yeah, he certainly did. Worst fight of the night right here, out of everything. But this was a really fun take on a squash match. Bobby Lashley obliterated Sami Zayn for the most part, but by the end of the bout, the Intercontinental Heavyweight Champion had a logical complaint about the interference of MVP in the Hurt Business. For a match that was overlooked heading into the show, this was much more harmless fun than expected and should make for the latest in Sami Zayn's conspiracy theorist character, a.k.a. Lame Duckman. He's going to be even worse now. So, yeah, get ready for Friday because I'm telling you, he's going to be a pain in the you-know-what, like he's been for all this time. So, he's going to be even worse. So, about 2 stars for the effort. Worst fight of the night. But then again, going into this, we knew this was going to be the worst fight of the night. So, TV quality bout at best. So, nothing more to say. Michael Bullock, I mean, you called it. You said Lashley was going to dominate. He did, but he got the win. But you got a bad feeling that Lame Duckman's going to be even worse.
Oh, yeah. I knew this was going to happen. 2 stars for me, and yeah, I agree. Friday night, Sami Zayn is going to pout, moan, and whine like a little baby that he's been because he's going to look for some kind of excuse for why he lost. My little message to you, Lame Duck Man, accept the loss, you moron. Fletch, it's yours.
Then we have the battle of the women's champions. SmackDown Women's Champion Sasha Banks versus Raw Women's Champion Asuka. The winner of the bout in 13 minutes and 5 seconds was the SmackDown Women's Champion, the boss, Sasha Banks, making it 3-2 overall on the night. Michael Bullock, It's yours. The Boss takes down the Empress of Tomorrow, redeems herself with a big win, and keeps SmackDown hopes alive to win Survivor Series.
Yeah, and the thing that surprised me, Fletch, she won it cleanly. There was no
Yes.
Carmel involved. I mean, she didn't even get involved during the match or even after the match. I mean, and you know what? I'm actually fine with it. So you want to continue to give Sasha Banks momentum, and definitely wanted to get SmackDown back on track after the last match. So I'll give this about another maybe 3.25 star, maybe 3.5. I'm leaning more towards 3.25 as far as I'm concerned, but these two always put on a good match, and this was definitely no different. And the fact that it ended cleanly, like I said, was actually surprising because we all thought some of us thought maybe Carmella was going to get involved because of her issues with Sasha Banks, but I'm glad they actually kept it off and maybe just save it for Friday night on SmackDown. So another good match here. Fletch, it is yours. SmackDown gets back on track, and it actually ended cleanly. It's
Yeah,
yours.
no doubt. Yeah, no doubt about it. Clean victory for Sasha Banks. Um, I mean, going into this, I was definitely pulling for Sasha to win it, but you never know how this would play out. You're thinking maybe Carmella interference. If Carmella gets involved in the match, this might cost Sasha. But no, she stayed out of it. They let the women fight, and they produced great matchup, great battle, but this was a crowning moment for Sasha Banks. This has to be without a doubt her biggest win as SmackDown Women's Champion, and it solidifies her. She's now solidified as a champion to knock off Asuka in that kind of environment where everything was riding on that match. That's a huge win for Sasha Banks, and I'll openly admit it. Other than her becoming both the Raw and SmackDown Women's Champions, heading into WrestleMania, at that time, this was without a doubt one of the biggest wins of her career. So for me, this was unbelievable. Big win for the Boss and Anthony Florio. It is all yours. What a moment for Sasha Banks. She needed that. She needed that W.
I told you she was due. I told you she was due to get a win. As I said the other night when we did our preview, but 3.5 stars, 3.25, 3.5. That's the right rating here. At the risk of jinxing them, it is seemingly impossible for Asuka and Sasha Banks to have a bad match. The chemistry here was off the charts. They executed reversals and counters that lesser talented wrestlers would stumble and fumble their way through. Instead, they kept fans on the edge of their seats, unsure if this was the roll-up or submission that would end the bout. Banks winning was the right move to further solidify her SmackDown Women's title reign, especially since Asuka has been at the top of the Raw Women's division for months now. And considering the lack of obvious direction for Asuka, the outcome here was a no-brainer. So Sasha was due, and sure enough, she did it. Maybe not as decisive as we would have liked, but still, a win's a win. Take it how you can get it, as we always say. So 3-2 now, and things were looking up. Things were looking up for Team Blue here, especially going into this next match, MF. Or was it? 3.25, 3.5 stars.
All right. So with that said, we do indeed go on to it. The next one we have was the women's 5-on-5 Survivor Series matchup. It was Team Raw of Nia Jax, Shayna Baszler, Lana, Lacey Evans, and Peyton Royce versus Team SmackDown of Bianca Belair, Ruby Riott, Liv Morgan, Bayley, and Natalya. Raw wins the match. Lana, the sole survivor. Raw has won the Survivor Series 4-2. Now, this is where a lot of people got very angry. And it's not because of Lana winning. And let's just say that. A lot of people were happy that Lana won. A lot of people were happy that, if you're a Raw fan, you're absolutely thrilled. If you're a SmackDown fan, obviously you're disappointed. But the way the match ended was where the drama began. And definitely the tiki torches and the pitchforks came out. And it wasn't coming after Lana. No, let's be realistic. Lana was not the one who did this. But the booking of the end of the match is what really set a lot of people off. So, after Raw took an advantage of 3-on-1, it was Shayna Baszler, Nia Jax, and Lana versus Bianca Belair. So, Shayna Baszler got disqualified, and that led to a 2-on-1. Then, Nia Jax and Bianca were brawling outside the ring. They were going at it. And unfortunately for Bianca, it's a double countout. Both ladies eliminated. Lana, by default, was the last woman standing. Therefore, she wins the Survivor Series for Monday Night Raw. This is where a lot of people went after WWE, calling it bull crap booking. And let me say it, this is not because of Lana. And let's be realistic here. Lana was not the reason why this ended. She's not the reason why this happened. But the way that Raw won the Survivor Series, the way that they did it, obviously, look, this is a battle. This is a war. This was a battle for survival. Whatever the case may be, this is how it had to end. But at the end of the day, this is a bitter pill to swallow if you're SmackDown Live. This is, to lose it like this, literally set me off. And thank God I had a little extra time to kind of calm myself down, because if we would have done this after, I'm telling you right now, I would have gone full on Cerebral Viper. Profanity-laced tirade rant, and it would have been up to the level of Derek Ferrera. That's how pissed I was with this outcome. And I even voiced it to Anthony Florio and to the messenger chat, and he kind of had a feeling of how angry I was. He knew I was not in a good mood at that point. So, Lana gets the bragging rights, she gets to win it, and she can say, legitly, I won the Survivor Series for Monday Night Raw. I was the last person standing, I won it for my team. So she got the right to say that, and I know a lot of people will be fine with it. Hey, she deserves it. She was well deserving of the moment. She deserves that moment and that bragging rights. She deserves the feel-good moment, and she deserves all the love and the adulation she's getting tonight. I'm not going to argue that. I wish they could have came up with a better solution. Maybe it's because of the fact they didn't want Bianca to look bad either. Because Bianca was amazing in this match. Maybe by letting this outcome happen, they protected Bianca from what could have been a major loss, and you don't want to do that. So I get the logic. I just am so angry about the execution. And behind the reasoning of it is a little more perplexing for me than anything else. Anthony Florio, it's yours. Lana's the sole survivor. Monday Night Raw wins the 2020 Survivor Series.
And I told you, and I'm a man of my word, MF. Am I happy about it? Yes, I am. But I'm not as over the top happy as I would have been. I mean, not just out of respect for you, MF, but even I was crying foul with how that ended. I mean, by ending the series here, you essentially deemed the main event as a meaningless match because it had no ramifications whatsoever. It was just a pride thing, really. It's almost like a meaningless Week 17 game in the NFL, almost essentially. That's what you did with the main event. But nonetheless, I'm not gonna lie. I am very happy with Monday Night Raw winning this. I mean, especially after that putrid and abysmal performance we had a year ago, in which I had to bow down and humble myself before Michael Bullock in NXT, and you know how damn hard that was for me. I mean, I even pulled out the Ben Stein for goodness sakes. But in all seriousness, though, MF, this time around, you're gonna have to. It's almost like with Ben Stein winning, and the contestant has had to humble him or herself before Mr. Stein, and I'm not even going to remotely even do that to you. I mean, not after that. I mean, if it was more decisive, oh yeah, I would have rubbed your nose in it, absolutely. But nonetheless, I would probably give this about 3 to 3.25 stars at best. That was not a good finish. Yes, Lana winning as the sole survivor was the right call given the story told heading into the show, but a lazy double countout was hardly the best option at their disposal. Worse, such a finish does more to make Lana a useless yet lucky babyface than an underdog that fans can actually get behind. However, with that said, there were positives. Bianca Belair looked fantastic as she showcased her athleticism and powered through Shayna Baszler's Kirifuda clutch. Peyton Royce, too, surprised in a rare opportunity to prove herself. She not only eliminated Bayley, but Bayley was the first one eliminated in the entire match. Can you believe that? Who would have saw that coming? I certainly didn't. Bayley losing to her was an interesting decision and makes one wonder if the role model may be on her way to a hiatus of sorts, even if it is just from the SmackDown Women's title picture on Friday nights. While the action was fine enough for what it was, the execution and layout left quite a bit to be desired, and the finish did not exactly accomplish what WWE hoped it would. But nonetheless, it put Raw over the top. I'm happy in that sense. Reason being, obviously, because of last year. I mean, the horrific taste that I had in my mouth after a year ago, where we won only one match, and it was on the damn pre-show, for goodness sakes, after going over on the main card, Golden Sombrero, which was the equivalent of a Golden Sombrero in Major League Baseball. But but this time around, no Golden Sombrero. We stood in that batter's box, we swung for the fences, and we hit a home run here tonight. Maybe not an overwhelming home run, but still, it was the home run nonetheless, and it put us over the top. And for that sense, and for that sense only, I'm happy. But as much as I really want to rub MF's nose in it, and I really do, I just can't do it. Not after that. I'm certainly not going to gloat over that. I'm not going to be proud over that. I mean, as a heel commentator, abso-freaking-lutely. Oh, it would be like Jesse giving Gorilla the business, or Bobby Heenan giving Gorilla the business. As a heel commentator, I would have every right to do that. But as a professional, no, I can't do it. If I were to do that, MF would have my head. And I don't want that. I mean, Bullock and I have both been in that cerebral Viper doghouse. And let me tell you, folks, it is not fun. Not fun at all. So,
it ain't for the weak of heart.
Oh no. So to avoid that, MF, I'm sorry about how it ended. I really am. But at the same time, though, I am most certainly happy for Raw. I mean, this is sweet, sweet redemption from Monday Night Raw, especially after last year. So that horrific taste, which tasted like you know what, long and finally out of my mouth, and it's a minty fresh feeling now. So that's all I can say here. 3 to 3.25 stars. So nothing more to say. Michael Bullock, I'm happy Raw won, yes, but I'm not happy with the way we won it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm with you too. I mean, Raw won, but I'm not happy with the way they won it. I mean, the ending could have been a whole lot better, but yeah, WWE really screwed up on this one. I mean, it was still good for what it was. I'll give it 3 stars, but that ending just really rubbed me the wrong way. And Yeah, so there's really nothing more to say on it. Fletch, it is yours.
So, like Anthony Floyo said, this next match was basically a meaningless match at that point, and it's the battle of the WWE champions. I mean, it's Roman Reigns, the Universal Champion, versus Drew McIntyre, the WWE Champion. Raw vs SmackDown. Roman Reigns, the Tribal Chief, wins the match in 24 minutes and 50 seconds. Oh man, I'll say this: if you were right, Anthony, if Dominic Mysterio would have won that match, would have won that battle royale, and this was the outcome, SmackDown would have won Survivor Series. But as it stands, it was 4-3 Raw wins. But think about it this way: yes, the Survivor Series matches went to Monday Night Raw, but once again, the Battle of the Champions, SmackDown can hold their heads high. They won that war by a final score of 3-1.
Do I start this?
Yeah, it's
Okay,
yours.
it is mine. Okay, so just wanted to be sure, of course, and I'll say it like this though. Before I get into my analysis, MF, this is almost a carbon copy of what we saw at the 2017 Survivor Series. Raw won overall, but SmackDown, every SmackDown win came via a champion versus champion match, even though they did lose one. And but all three of SmackDown's wins tonight and in 2017 all came via the way of the champion matches. It seems like SmackDown almost always win. 9 times out of 10, SmackDown wins the champion versus champion matches. Whereas Monday Night Raw, 9 times out of 10, seemingly wins the traditional Survivor Series matches. And that makes me happy because you know how much I love those matches, and especially again tonight. But in all seriousness, this was the fight of the night, though. I mean, 4.5 stars. I mean, and thus Roman Reigns' string of match of the year candidates continues. The Tribal Chief has been involved in the 3 best matches WWE has produced this year, including this heavy-hitting battle between 2 titans. Roman Reigns was the dominant assassin, while Drew McIntyre was the gutsy, resilient babyface, one Claymore away from proving himself worthy of sitting at the head of the table. Unfortunately for Drew, Jey Uso picked this match to prove his loyalty to the family, and he did so, furthering his story in the process. That story is as good as anything WWE has produced in years, while this match lived up to the lofty expectations set for it after their fantastic contract signing promo this past Friday night on SmackDown. A legitimate main event in any arena in the country, and a battle between 2 stars riding an incredible wave of momentum at this point. 4.5 stars. Fight of the night. This stole the damn show. It's just a damn shame it had to be in a meaningless sense. So Raw wins the Survivor Series by a final score of 4-3. So, and yes, Dee Dee's mentioned it. You know, if we're going by main card, it ended in a draw. But because of Miz winning the Battle Royal on the pre-show, Raw wins the night. So there's really nothing much more to say, but what a hell of a match, though. Michael Bullock, this was far better than the match they had at WrestleMania 35. Almost, but not quite, a 5-star classic. It was a little rough early, but once they got going, that's all we needed. Just missed the 5, 4.5.
Yeah, it got rough. It was rough early, but it really picked up in the end. And yeah, it was a 4.5-star match. Definitely much better than the match they had at WrestleMania 35. But yeah, I mean, so much Shakespearean drama. I mean, these two basically left it on the line. I mean, it was just too bad that it was in a meaningless matter. So, but all in all, it was a great match. 4.5 stars. Fight of the night. Fletch, it is yours.
4.5 stars. An unbelievable match. Look, neither man can hold their heads low on this one. This was an absolute classic of a match. A lot of people were talking about how great this was, and a battle for supremacy and everything else. Um, yeah, there's really nothing more to add. So at this point in the event, now we come to literally the to honor the Undertaker. This was the moment that we all were waiting for. The 30-year celebration of the Undertaker, and we had a lot of dignitaries in this one, from Shane McMahon to the Big Show to JBL to Jeff Hardy to Mick Foley to from Mankind. Godfather was there. The Godwin, Savio Vega, Rikishi, Kevin Nash, Booker T, Shawn Michaels, Ric Flair, Triple H, Kane, Vince McMahon himself. And I know, Michael Bullock, you were talking about how Vince does not look good. It looks like he's got his health is declining. I noticed
It was
that
actually
too. Didi was the one who brought that up, and yeah, he definitely looked like he was in pretty rough shape as well. But oh my goodness, oh yeah, I mean, there was not a dry eye in the building. There was not a dry eye if you were a part of the Thunderdome. If you were watching this on WWE Network, if you were watching this on pay-per-view, I don't think there's anybody else that deserves and commands the respect that he got is other than the Undertaker. And I think it's fitting that we give this to the man who's the biggest fan of the Phenom, of the Lord of Darkness, of Michael Bullock. Michael Bullock, talk about the moment, talk about this event, and please give me your thoughts on this amazing 30-year career of The Undertaker. It is all yours, my friend.
Man, it's hard to put into words, but yeah, I'm glad they put this on to close the show. And another thing, I'm glad they had him come out as the Dead Man, the Phenom, and just to see him make his entrance in the Thunderdome was an experience I think we all enjoyed. And 30 years, man, what can you say? 30 years to the day he made his debut. When he was a part of Ted DiBiase's $1 million team, and he the first Tombstone, and and then to me, his career really took off when they brought in Paul Bearer. And you know what? Kudos to WWE for what they did. With bringing the holographic image of Paul Bearer was a fitting way to cap off this legendary career. But like I said, Paul Bearer, once they paired him up with The Undertaker, that's when his career really took off. When he won his very first WWE Championship the following year, when he defeated the immortal Hulk Hogan. And he would go on to win more seven overall from either WWE championships or World Heavyweight championships. He's also won tag team titles uh, during his time. And he's had so many great battles in his career. And had so many rivals. The list, it goes on and on with some of the great men he's fought. His brother Kane, Triple H, Shawn Michaels. Of course, when you think of Shawn Michaels, you have to think of the two matches they had at WrestleManias 25 and 26. The matches with Triple H at 27 and 28. But the one from 28 was the one that really was the best. especially since it was end of an era, Hell in a Cell. I mean, Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Rock, um, so many names that he faced. And then you think of the kind of matches he was in, Hell in a Cell, um, and matches of his kind, the casket match, the buried alive matches. I mean, and of course, when you think of the Undertaker, you have to think about the streak at WrestleMania, the names that he beat: Superfly Jimmy Snuka, Jake the Snake Roberts, the Giant Gonzalez, um, King Kong Bundy, Diesel, Psycho Sid, Kane twice, the Big Boss Man, Triple H uh, three times, Ric Flair, the Big Show, the A Train, Randy Orton, Mark Henry, um, I'm trying to think. Oh, Edge, Shawn Michaels twice, and of course, CM Punk. And then, of course, he had the streak broken at WrestleMania 30 by Brock Lesnar. But he would go on to win, I would think, 3 more times at WrestleMania, or 4 more times, I should say, because he beat Bray Wyatt, he beat Shane McMahon, um, he beat John Cena, although it was a short match. But the final match of his legendary career was the Boneyard match at WrestleMania 35, or 36, I should say. Um, and it was a fitting way to cap off a legendary career, and he made his retirement official in that Last Ride documentary. And for The Undertaker, it was just, and it was only fitting that it would be Vince McMahon that would introduce The Undertaker one final time. And for The Undertaker, he said, it's time for The Undertaker to rest in peace. And it was a fitting way to end not just the Survivor Series, but a legendary 30-year career. His career may be over, but his legacy will live on forever. And it's not too often I say this, but I really love this guy. I really did. And I still do, and I always will. So, to The Undertaker and Florio, I know you're going to say this as when we get to you, but to The Undertaker.
No, you do it. You do it. You take it.
All right. To The Undertaker, thank you for the memories. Thank you for the inspiration. And thank you for The Undertaker. The next stop for you, the WWE Hall of Fame, where you rightfully deserve to take your place at. I love you, Undertaker. Thank you for a wonderful career full of memories that we will all never, ever forget. So, and I'm going to do this right here. Thank you, Undertaker. Fletch, I turn it to you.
Anthony, I don't think we can even top that. I don't think there's even any possible way that I can even top what Michael Bullock just did.
Well, I just want to say just one quick thing
Sure.
on my end. The Undertaker is an iconic character, one whose creativity and showmanship captivated entire generations of fans, especially Michael Bullock. His career is unparalleled. The respect he has elicited from fans and peers is incomparable. He earned this farewell, and while some will argue it should have been bigger and grander, it fit his character. It fit his character with everything you could have hoped for out of the Phenom, except for one last match in front of fans, live fans. Still, on a night where much was made about his goodbye, committing the character to rest in peace was the perfect line to wrap things up. And, we're not going to run down, his entire career. We'll save that for when when the official announcement comes. It's not a matter of if, it's just a matter of when. Mm-hmm. And in all honesty, it should be as part of the WWE Hall of Fame class of 2021. And they should honestly carry over the class that was supposed to go in this year, carry it over into next year, just add Taker, and then he can be the headliner. And then you'll have 3 headliners. You'll have him, you'll have Dave Bautista, and you'll have the NWO, along with JBL, the British Bulldog, the Bellas, and Jushin Thunder Liger.
That would become, in my opinion, probably the most deepest, and you could even make an argument, maybe possibly the greatest Hall of Fame class of all time.
Certainly.
I mean, the 2005 class, which I believe was Hogan, Piper, I still
Sheik.
believe, huh?
Iron Sheik.
And
Nikolai Volkov.
I think that one was the greatest.
Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff.
If you put Taker with that array, you could easily make an argument that this could be the greatest Hall of Fame class of all time.
It's up there. It's up there with 2005 with Hogan, when Hogan and Piper were the headliners. 2009 had a great class. You had Stone Cold and Ricky the Dragon Steamboat as the headliners there. 2013, you can make an argument for that class, with Backlund and Bruno Sammartino, Mr. Backlund, and Booker and Foley and Trish, and when they went in. But the class that should have gone in this year, I'll carry them over in the next year, and just you can easily add Taker, and you can just have Taker be the headliner. And I just hope that they'll get the proper ceremony that they deserve. And when Taker gives his Hall of Fame speech, I guarantee you there will not be one dry eye in the house. Not one.
No.
And it should be Vince McMahon who inducts him.
Agreed.
I have no arguments with that either.
Just like tonight was just a mere dress rehearsal. That's what that was. That was just a small sample of what it should be for the Hall of Fame. But when it comes to his WWE career, 7-time world champion, as Bullock mentioned, 6-time, overall a 7-time world tag team champion if you count that WCW tag title run he had with Kane. Won a hardcore title, 2007 Royal Rumble, won 12 Slammy Awards, and even won a hardcore title. And MF and I have had the honor of calling so many of his matches, whether it was on television, Raw, SmackDown, pay-per-views, any other pay-per-views. And one of our favorite underrated matches that MF and I had was a Monday Night Raw match. Remember that ladder match with Jeff Hardy, MF?
Oh, yes.
How much fun we had with that one.
Absolutely.
And that was one of our favorites. But WWE on Instagram, the WWE Network, their Instagram page, in the story section, they actually had a tournament. They took all of Taker's greatest matches and they did an Undertaker's greatest match of all time tournament. And the winner of that, the winning match, no big surprise, was the 25th anniversary of Wrestlemania against Shawn Michaels. That, I think we're all agreed. They got that one right. Although us personally, we think the end of an era Hell in a Cell match was his greatest match against Triple H, with Shawn as the referee and all the emotion behind that in Miami. But
you couldn't go wrong with either one of them.
Certainly not. The runner-up was WrestleMania 26. another match that MF and I, we had a lot of fun with that. I remember I had MF over my house for 25 against Shawn, and when Shawn kicked out of that tombstone, we looked at each other and we were just dumbfounded. We couldn't believe what happened. And then the following year, MF returned the favor. He had me over his house for 26, and we pretty much did almost the same thing. But nonetheless,
I think the most legendary moment for me was when me and Florio remembers the infamous spike. Um, I think Florio knows it. After the slap by Shawn,
oh yeah,
Taker grabbed Shawn, puts him in that tombstone, and he
oh,
doesn't just do a regular pile driver. He
oh
does
no,
a jumping pile driver and
yeah,
literally spiked Shawn
oh
Michaels. And I remember on my commentary, Anthony knows it, I emphatically squealed out, "Oh, he spiked him!" on
yep.
on that.
But but the saddest moment obviously was when the streak ended at 30 with Lesnar, and I'll never forget it, MF. You emphatically yelled out, "The streak is over."
Yep.
I will never ever forget it. Never ever forget it. On the same night that Daniel Bryan had his big moment, but nonetheless, though, I mean, all the titles he won. I mean, yes, when he beat Hogan in '91, I was a sad little boy because I was a Hulkamaniac. Who wasn't?
Mm-hmm.
But 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 Taker got it, and it only lasted a few days because of the Tuesday in Texas. But still, I mean, 25-2 at WrestleMania. I mean, who's going to touch that? No one's going to touch that. No one's ever going to come close to that. So 25-2 at Mania. He was 21-0, with the whole streak thing and the whole 9 yards, and you know, and it was so cool to see all the legends there beforehand. I wish they would have at least maybe surrounded the ring or something, but obviously Taker, that they probably wanted to give Taker his own little moment there, and I can certainly understand that. I mean, I kind of wanted to see a bigger, grander deal made out of it, but it is what it was, and if that's how Taker wanted it, then who are we to argue? So we're certainly not going to argue with the man's wishes. Absolutely not. If that's how he wants it, that's how it's going to be. So, but nonetheless, though, congratulations, Undertaker, phenomenal career. MF and I may not be the diehards that Bullock are, but that Bullock is. But all in all, we cannot help but respect and appreciate everything the man has done for the business, and is going to continue to do for the business. I mean, he's at the level of an ambassador. That's what he is. He's the ambassador of the company and the heart and soul of it. And 30 years to the exact date here tonight. It was on this very date 30 years ago, Thanksgiving night, 1990, at the old Hartford Civic Center as part of the $1 Million Man, Teddy DiBiase's $1 Million team, along with the Honky Tonk Man and Greg the Hammer Valentine. The answer to the age-old trivia question, who was the very first man to receive a tombstone? It was the Birdman, Coco Beware. Coco was the very first one to get dropped on his head via the tombstone. And every name he's done it to, all the gimmicks he's done, from the starting as the Dead Man, and then of course as the American Badass, and then back to the Dead Man, and then we briefly saw the American Badass again, as part of WrestleMania 36 in the Boneyard match with AJ Styles that stole the damn show, and we weren't sure what to expect. But when we saw that Boneyard match at WrestleMania, we just couldn't believe how damn good that thing ended up being, and that's a testament to both men. And but nonetheless, Undertaker, you earned it, you deserve it. You have nothing more to prove. You've done you've proved enough, and the next time we see you, good sir. I'm praying that it will be come March or April of 2021 when you take your rightful place into the WWE Hall of Fame. And just like what Triple H said with Ric Flair when he went in, he doesn't just deserve to be in the Hall of Fame. He deserves his own damn wing. That's all there is to say on that. So, because there's too many moments. So, and of course, Michael Bullock, for all that paraphernalia that you have, I hope and pray one day you get a big enough place and you can have your own man cave. I've been telling you that for years. You deserve a man cave for all that Undertaker stuff. He knows that too. He knows that.
Yep, he knows. He knows. He knows that.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, because I got so many. You saw the picture, guys. Not just with that, but all the shirts I got too. And you seem to buy some shirts.
Yeah.
When we go into those WWE events at the Dunk.
Yep, I know you got some more Undertaker goodies when we went to the whether it was the Raw or SmackDown at the Civic Center, and I pray to God we'll get to do that again soon enough. But
I'll definitely be buying a shirt when he does go into when he goes into the WWE Hall of Fame.
And for the very steep price of $250, you can get an adult Undertaker Halloween costume.
Even though Halloween's long gone now.
Yeah, but I hope one day that you get that, Bullock, because I would love to see you in the Undertaker getup I would love to see Bullock in that Undertaker costume, and I would get a kick out of it. I know MF would get a kick out of it, and his family and his other friends would get a kick out of it. So I would love to see him in that Taker getup in that $250 Halloween costume on shop.com. But nonetheless, all in all, Bullock said it best. I'm not even gonna try to top that. So blessings, much love to the Undertaker, and you don't have to step through those ropes and make that walk anymore. Go home. Continue to be that loving husband to the beautiful Michelle McCool, and a loving father to your children. You damn sure deserved it, man. You've done enough. And we cannot help but thank you and appreciate you for all of it. See you at the Hall of Fame, Dead Man. See you at the Hall of Fame. And it better be in March or April of 2021. Amen, MF?
I don't think there's anything more to say about that. Now, normally we would always do an overall review. However, I felt like with the power of The Undertaker and everything that he stood for, I don't think a review is even worthy of what Taker did. If it wasn't for that, we probably would call for it, but I feel like we should let the Taker moment end our show tonight with our tributes, our support, our love, and everything for The Undertaker. I think it's amazing what he did and what he brought to this company, and not only to that, but to the world. So, tomorrow night is Ridiculously Raw, hosted by Anthony Florio at 11 p.m. Eastern, as we recap Monday Night Raw, the fallout from the Survivor Series, and it's upward and onward. So, for Anthony Florio, for Michael Bullock, I am Michael Fletcher, saying so long, everybody. Have a wonderful evening, and we will see you tomorrow night. Good night, everybody.